Hi guys, welcome to another episode of NTD, a podcast by Dixon and Doja. This is Doja, obviously, and this is the third installment. Supposed to be the fourth installment, anyway, but this is the third installment of Dixon's POV from NTD's ongoing POV series. And on this episode, Dixon talks about what do you talk about on this episode?
I know you're talking.
Dixon is going to talk about
What kept him up last night?
Okay, yeah. He's going to tell us what kept him up last night.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what kept him up last night. I hope to know as the episode progresses. And you may be wondering why he's here.
He's been here since, like...
I don't know the answer to that question because, I'm sure you're expecting that maybe I'll talk then interlude, right? But it don't work like that this time. And as usual, you take us as we are. Anyway.
Lie that you did not miss us in the same room. Lie that you did not.
No, that one.
Like,
that
you
one
listener.
Is so, I know the me self. I missed us in the same room. So I know they did.
So what am I going to say? I should just...
What kept you up last night now?
Well, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
A lot. So I was...
Are you up thinking? You don't used to sleep.
It's not that.
So now being...
But well, that's actually not far from the truth. So I'm sort of a nocturnal. Why you me like? Good.
Keep going now. I'm understanding you.
Like, say you are not nocturnal too.
No, please, I beg. I used to sleep by 10 p.m. I sleep by 10 p.m. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, I come alive in the nighttime. No lie, actually.
Like an owl.
Owl.
Owl, sorry.
Like an owl.
Like an owl.
But not really. Sometimes if I sleep for afternoon, now why?
That's the thing, right? See, you know this where people say, "Oh, I slept in the afternoon, so I could not sleep in the night." If I was asleep 1 hour ago, and they wake me up, and let's say they say, "Hey, everybody should sleep," I will still sleep again. It doesn't work. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Because people, you hear things like, "Oh, let's say I slept in the afternoon. Let's say I'm in the house now, and I wake up by, let's say I wake up by 6 p.m. from my siesta."
Okay.
And then in the night, people are expecting that somehow I'll be awake. But what I'm just done eating, I have left the parlor. And once I enter the room, I drop my head on that pillow. It's over. It's gone.
Well, the habits of not sleeping so early or being able to stay at night is the habit of being able to stay up at night. I think it started from secondary school. Like secondary school, let's do crazy stuff. Some of my friends that are listening in.
People that used to do light outs.
We used to do light outs, but after light outs, I shine, that kind of thing. Because I used to stay up to read. But here's the thing. Calm down now. And to find food. And what happened was that I used to sell my lunch. Many times I used to sell my lunch. Or I used to trade it. There's something we used to call business back in secondary school. So I trade my lunch. Probably if it's that time I did not used to eat melon soup, egusi soup.
Yeah, me too. Because it was terrible. They used to give us fried egg soup.
Fried But yeah, I used to trade my lunch. Many times it wasn't really because I don't like the lunch. It's just it was just business. If you find somebody who's willing to buy or somebody who's willing to trade, maybe you trade for a much more delectable meal or something like that. So I'll trade my lunch.
I used to trade my bread. Yes, because I don't remember
that.
I used to eat I did the combo bread and tea. So okay. I sometimes I just to go to class. That's where I got the habit of not eating in the morning because I'll not take breakfast. I'll just go to class.
Oh, so you have habits too.
Probably just carve it. So I used to trade my bread. I think I used to trade it for chicken. Trade my bread for I don't know what. I don't used to eat bread. Yeah, I just remembered. Keep going. Keep going.
Before it becomes a Doja's POV.
It's not Doja. Just keep quiet today.
Totally good. What was I even saying again? I just used to trade my food for like food that's of like precious value or something like that, maybe rice and stew, or like there's this jollof rice and fish that was like really good, fried fish, or like whatever. Or sometimes I'm trading for another afternoon meal. So like on select days, I will now sleep from time for lunch. They used to chase us out, but like I had to, yeah. So I'll sleep from like immediately after like school from 2:15 to 2:30. And then sometimes I will sleep into prep. They used to come and chase to, but I used to hack it. So I'll sleep from then. No, it didn't happen all the time. No, it didn't happen all the time. So like I'll hack, or sometimes I'll wake up and go for prep and then come back, and then I'll sleep during games, because like I didn't play much games in my junior secondary. Right? It was like from senior secondary I started playing games. And then sometimes I still skipped games. So I would just sleep and then go for night prep, and then I would read from night prep. So like after night prayers and light outs, then we'll just buy some 30 minutes, you know, to pretend like we're sleeping. We're lying on our bed and like as if there's
they don't used to pursue me for light outs. Like I'm already on my bed. Before 10 p.m.
No, right.
And the funny thing is that my sister take it very seriously. Like, you know, when like later after lunch, because I was from class, we're just going straight to dining.
Yeah.
So like, from there I'll just come back, and then people are still talking. My head's under my pillow. Like I've gone. And I used to like, I didn't always like to go late. Like I was they used to call me punctuality prefect. So like it's just time, I just stand up and I just go like for prep. So after prep, SS3, SS2, do the bottle. You can decide not to do sport or not, and I did not do any sport at all. So I used to sleep there too. Yeah. Do you get? So like there was enough time for me to sleep with that. But guess what?
Maybe you're just a cat. Doja cat.
You finally said this thing. You're wondering me.
No.
It's nice.
I'm sorry. I did not mean it. I did not mean from the bottom of my heart.
It's all right. Please keep going.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry now.
So please tell us what kept you up in the night.
Well, so I was trying to explain like how that happened, like how that happens.
Okay.
Right. So basically, when it's 10:30, we'll like stand up. I say we'll, cause like me and my guys, yeah. So like we'll be up all night. First of all, we're going to be looking for what we call zaps. So zaps is like, you know, maybe like provision food now, like food that you make from provisions. Like it's either like gari with much milk and sugar, or like biscuits with milk, or, you know, that type thing. So I don't know how we used to hustle it, but then we used to hustle it, and then we'll eat, and then we'll study. Like me and one of my guys, I don't want to mention his name. Yeah, if he's hearing this. So like that became a very consistent habit, because what happened is we bought much more time to study. So sometimes I would sleep by 3 or 4, and then I'll probably shower before I sleep, or because there is the morning rush. There's the morning rush of folks to fetch water, and then the seniors used to override. That's when I was when I was a junior.
Yeah, when I was in junior, I used to bath by 3 a.m.
Probably do something like that, or I will fetch water and around that time, and then I'll like keep it, and then when I wake up, I'll now use the water. But mostly it's like I'll shower, so that I will just wake up during like time for morning prayers, morning devotion. So we'll go and pray, and then go for like the devotion. So it's stuck. I mean, all my other, secondary school disciplines like was there, but like that habit made me into a nocturnal. But if I want to sleep early, and that's why I'm not that type of person that will say, oh, maybe you want to sleep. Say, let me sleep so that I will wake up and study. No, that's not me. If I want to study, no matter how broken my bones are, I will have to stay awake and study. I swear down. And if I have to do something all through the night, like I cannot say, oh, or maybe I have something I have to keep awake for, probably like a video, maybe a study video, a prayer video, or whatever. Like I am going to stay up and do that thing. Like even though my bones are breaking, and the thing is, I'm going to feel it right after. But I cannot do let me sleep and wake up, that type of thing. if I'm sleeping, it's like siesta before 6 p.m. Like siesta before 6 p.m. And I can take like a power nap, like 10, 20 minutes, that type of thing, right? And recharge. But if you let me sleep so that I will wake up, hey, Otondo. So last night I was up on YouTube. I saw a couple of documentaries, right? I saw a couple of documentaries that interestingly I found on a social media handle that is titled "What Kept Me Up." Very coincidental. So I was spending the time going through like all of those documentaries. Most of them heartbreaking, some of them curiously documented, some of them really enjoyable. So I would just run through like, I think they're up to like 10. I would run through like all of them and then I just give my POV on them. So the first one is
meanwhile, Doja is here giving moral support.
it's calm. But I mean, I think I will okay, no, I won't. You can be there giving moral support if you want. And it's the reason why she's here. The reason why I'm here for how? Just because she misses putting her voice inside the recording when I'm recording. She misses putting her voice inside.
That's not what this is about.
Putting her voice inside the recording whenever we're recording. And then we also, she pointed out, and I agreed that it is possible that you guys miss like having our voices in the same recording. Like, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, we're like, they do. So we should, give you guys, our voices together. We had you in mind. This is all about you.
Whoa, it's chill. So, the first one that I saw, this one, I did not actually check it out, but I just watched I watched I think it's the trailer, Rainmakers. So it's like, this particular, have you seen Rainmakers?
No, I haven't seen it, but I mentioned it in Doja's interlude.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So particular director. Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, he travels like all through Oyo, Edo State, Ogun to look for people who claim that they can control rain, can command rain. And then, some of these guys, like, they have their abilities linked to popular African traditional gods like Shogo, like Oshun, and this one, Agemo or something. Well, the essence of the whole thing is to put their powers to test against like the science of it. It's available on Prime Video. I'm going to check it out, but like that's the one I just saw like the trailer for, and I didn't watch. And there's one that's very, very polarizing. Finding Fela, and this one is about King of Afrobeat, Fela Akino, and that's Akino, and Anikulapo Kuti. By the way, did you know that Anikulapo means I think the one who has death in his pocket?
Okay, that's why they did that thing.
Yes, that's why they call the what's it called? The series now. You've seen the series and the movie that
there was this movie that Banky W was an Anikulapo. That was his name. What movie was that?
I haven't seen the movie. I've seen like only 2 or 3
Banky movies. I was in the movie.
Up North?
No.
Wedding Party?
Not Wedding Party. The Setup. What was that other movie that's twin sister? I think it's The Setup.
Oh,
yes,
The Setup.
The Setup.
Really?
Yes, where I think they shoot there was a part where they shot him.
Okay.
And like the bullet it bounced back or something.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, but his name was Anikulapo, like in the...
Yeah. And I find it really interesting because, the thing about these Yoruba sensations at the time, word around the streets from folks who were from that generation, they valued fame much more than wealth, one. So, and two, their source of powers was not Lebado or Sepri or Abido Shika. Please. It was very, very similar. Like these guys were using jazz. Every single sensation from the time they were using, from Ayinla. I think I've mentioned Ayinla before.
Yeah.
Ayinla, it was a contemporary of Fela Kuti. They were always using jazz, and it's the reason why things like what he would do, antagonizing the government of the time, he was not afraid. These guys, they were very confident in the powers that when I saw the documentary, Fela's music was beyond entertainment. It was activism. The guy was unstoppable. Like, the government hated him, and I heard he grew weed, behind his house.
Wow.
And he married a lot of wives. Like, he had a lot of wives. The guy was a very polarizing figure, and I think it could only have taken him to do what he did, like on that pedestal in that era. And I see some of these guys try to take from him, Burner and Wiz. I appreciate like what they're doing, but well, let me leave my comments on that. But I think too, like, that the activism, I think it's the activism, their own activism in the particular age is adulterated. Now, I'm not saying they should go and risk their life. This is just a POV. It's like, I noticed that their own activism is adulterated. You know what Fela did? Like, he went all out. In fact, he said no compromises, no.
Because he knows he has background powers.
So, what do you think about the guys that are on
Act?
But anyway. That said, I think it was really enjoyable, and documentaries. I think there's a movie also that's been made, a biopic that's been made about Fela. I think that one was co-produced by Jay-Z, but I really enjoyed this particular documentary. Fela was a big name. These guys that are doing show now, that are shutting down London, stats. Fela was the first person that was shutting down London.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Right? Fela was the first person to like be shutting down these locations. So, like, Fela was famous. Like, I feel like if Fela lived a little longer than he lived, he would have won, won some Grammys. Because, I think King Sunny Ade has a Grammy to his name. I think Fela would have had a Grammy. Like, do you know what it means to pioneer a genre? Like, you pioneer a genre by, putting together instruments in a very unique way than has ever been before. Right? The way the African music genre, and it's painful, they call all our music Afrobeats, which we've done some good job differentiating Afrobeats from Afrobeats. Afrobeats without the S is the one that Fela was notable for. The one with the S is what we call Afropop, like generally music that is influenced from West Africa and South Africa and so on. So our music is because of our unique combination of like our musical elements, like our musical instruments, right? And for you it takes a lot of genius to do that. Like, it takes a lot of genius to do that. And in my opinion, the person has done a cleaner job, like a less unadulterated job. I had to speak in the negative. Like, I had to use the littles because I've said that those other guys like being a little adulterated. The person has done a less unadulterated job with emulating Fela and his stuff, his files. And it's obvious, he knows the law. He's a professionally trained lawyer. His pops is a big deal in the country. His pops is a very big deal in the country, so he has some form of powers. So, but I really
get that with powers normally.
He has some form of powers. So I really loved his Moral Instruction album. It was like everybody collects. It was a critique of the powers that be. I'm sorry, I said powers again. But the powers that be. And like the regular citizen. I think he did a clean job. And he employed a lot of Fela influences. Like, I really loved it. So Finding Fela, you should go check that out. And then very closely related to like, Afrobeat in Fela is the Afrobeat story, like the backstory of Afrobeat. It is Netflix documentary on that. And sorry, excuse me. This one is like, it was released in 2022 and it's part of like a 12-part series. there's the background of like folks from D1, Play, Tiwa Savage, Banky W, Whiskey, Two Face, contributions from from their life and how the digital revolution influenced what Afrobeat has become. So the Afrobeat story, or I think it's Afrobeat, the backstory. It's a Netflix documentary that you can check out. And then this one is one of my favorites, Free Men. And this is about the Igbo apprenticeship system, or Iba Boy. I think there's a movie that just came out, Afamefuna. I
try to sound as Igbo as possible.
You tried. You tried. And I really love the snippets I've seen here and there. I mean, I and Doja personally, we've decided that we're going to see the movie and that we're going to like X-ray the whole Igbo apprenticeship thing. I should look forward to that. But this particular documentary highlights everything in the system, from like how Dr. Annie Okeke, Obi Kobana, Ndubisi Ekekwe, how they came about like their wealth. And one thing is observable, something they say, Boamaka, Igbo is beautiful. One thing is observable. The system doesn't fail. Like if you follow the system, it just doesn't fail. So Free Men documents, the entire story of the, the Igbo apprenticeship system. And one thing I found out was that based off of this system and other systems in like different cultures in pre-colonial Nigeria, there was hardly unemployment, actually. Like, I mean, I stand to be corrected, but like the sources show that there was hardly unemployment the way we have it, right? People were patient enough to put in the work and see results. I'm not saying that there were no poor men, but like the people lack what to do to make money. That was something that you rarely heard that happened. And then there's a Netflix series that was co-produced by Peace Itimi. Peace Itimi is popularly tech-based. She started out as a digital marketer, and she's a lot of other things, currently residing in the UK. Like, her growth journey has been very, very inspiring for me. I mean, watch that from the get-go, right? She's doing amazing. And Innovating Africa, the rise of tech in Nigeria, like that, she puts together this series that documents, the growth of tech in Nigeria. And if you've observed, like since this is slightly post-pandemic or shortly before the pandemic, tech in Nigeria has begun to like receive global attention. It's beautiful that we're getting all this attention. We're getting attention, with our music. We're getting attention, like our tech is getting attention. And of course, our movies are slowly getting that type of attention. Our books here and there, The thing about it, if you don't even know anybody, at least you know the Paystar guys, right? The Paystar guys. And it's just beautiful to watch. Many of the fintechs that sprung up around that time, OPay, I think OPay is not Africa originated, but like a lot of the influence of the companies like is from Africa. And then there are some others that started like Kuda, like why am I forgetting them now that I want to mention them? Trove. I think Trove is Africa based. Rice Vest, Bamboo. I think Bamboo. A couple of fintechs and fintech companies, that is, and then some other tech companies like Thrive Agric, we're just doing amazing things. And this particular documentary documents the entire thing. Then there's another one. There's another documentary I saw. This one I didn't watch it, but like I think I saw its trailer too. For the Love of Dance. For the love, of course, that it goes without saying, right? The documentary sheds light on like dancing, especially the developments in Nigeria, and it's available on Prime Video, sha. Prime Video. Then this one I found very witty. It's called Tick Light. Tick Light sounds like a double entendre or a triple entendre. Like Take Light is like collect light. Take Light is what happens when NEPA takes light. And Take Light is like, like collect sense, like be enlightened. Like our country is dark enough and in ignorance enough. Take light, right? So it explores the electricity phenomenon in Nigeria and poor electricity of things. Despite our resources, the government's nonchalance forces us to to take matters into our own hands. When I think about taking matters into our own hands in regards to like electricity, I remember what used to happen like in boys' hostel when I was back at the University of Nigeria. This thing starts today.
I don't realize what you're about to say.
It starts today. They don't care about us. They don't care about boys. The boys were always responsible for fixing up their electricity. Like, no matter if you like study crop science, you will become an engineer. When, everybody always had their tester. Everybody always had some basic electrical tools you need to have as a boy in boys' hostel back at the University of Nigeria. And about then, no, I don't know about now. Let me say like that so that I'll save face. But Take Light is very witty and enjoyable. It's available on Prime Video, so you can check it out. And this one I did not check out, Death to 30. But I hear it's like about some unique experiences and challenges that women face. Right? Women face at the age of 30. I feel like a lot of things these days was always about women. It's like, calm down. Calm down. I'm not antagonizing women. I'm just saying that, there is the whole, even with female abuse, clinical, there's how he's pushed. It makes it look like the boy child is not susceptible to abuse. There's how, the other day, it's like, it should be 2 days ago, I saw a picture. And the picture was about the pay gap in like the NBA and the WNBA. If you don't know what that is, like that's National Basketball Association. It's for the US, I think. And the women's, there's like the one for men and the one for women. The one for women is like WNBA. The one for men is like the NBA. And so the pay gap, like they showed like a very young guy that was recently drafted. I think the guy is in the lowest. It's just like what we in football, it's like under 17, the equivalent for like basketball over there. And the boys earning, if I'm remembering correctly, the boys earning like about $12 million and stuff, right? It means the end $12 million.
I knew I should have been doing sports. Oh well.
But you were using your sports time to sleep. You see, things should be keeping you up. Things should be keeping you up. But then the what's it called? The lady, right? The female of equivalent like age, but now in the WNBA, she's earning like $75,000. The gap is as wide as the Atlantic Ocean. Now somebody made a post, and then the person was like, of course, the person said, I have no words. And it's when I messaged the person that I found out that the person wasn't criticizing it, but the person just didn't want to make his comment on it. But I made a comment. People will jump into, especially feminists, belligerent feminists that are always eager to rush in. Makes me wonder what the difference between them and fools are. Like, fools rushing. Who rush in and say, gender gap, gender gap, pay gap, boom, boom, boom. But the problem is not superficial. If you look within, you don't even need to look so deep within. The truth is, the difference between what the NBA generates in like income and what the WNBA generates is wider than the Atlantic Ocean also. Like the sport itself is that, it's just like women's, the Falcons, like what women football, like soccer now generates and what the men's football generates is different. So the pay is only consequent upon what you do. You get it? It's only consequent upon what the sport itself generates. So when you jump and make a case about like women pay gap being because of the gender gap, that's very laughable and ignorant, And so like I just, that was a side, what's it called, an aside. I just feel like these days people, push the narrative in favor of like the what's it called? I'll say the underdog gender or whatever, right? Just to, and it's not only with gender, just to promote them or something. I feel like it takes things to the extreme. It's not only about gender. Sometimes it's about race. These days it also feels like what's it called? The whole racial inequality thing is about black superiority now, not gender equality. The same thing with age, ageism. Very, very crazy stuff we have in this world.
All the isms.
Very crazy. But then the one I found most heartbreaking of all the documentaries I had seen, right? The one I found the most heartbreaking and I found the most touching, and I think is produced by Stephanie Coker. If you remember Stephanie Coker, she was a host at that time. She resembled Nancy Sime. There was this craze about Nancy Sime look alike and boom, boom, boom. Right? Not by then. Nancy Sime was like the underdog, so she wasn't as popular as Coker. Right? They resembled. I think that was when Nancy had to go cut her hair. People say that is it her? I think she was the one who said it, though, that she had to cut her hair so that there would be a distinction. Like, they looked alike so much at the time, Stephanie Coker and Nancy Sime. So this is produced by Stephanie Coker and directed by Ama Samist. I think that's the guy. He's known as that. And it's titled "Where the Heck Is My Period?" I find that a very, very catchy, title. And of course it's about there's this syndrome called polycystic ovarian syndrome. And I had to go like look it up. I found out it's a very, very heartbreaking hormonal disorder that women face, where like they get like a boost of male hormones and then they have fluctuating periods. So like it's just really, really scary for them because, many times, for like every time, the period is the signal of if you've gotten pregnant or not.
So it's like, where the heck's my period? Like, am I pregnant?
Am I pregnant? Exactly. And so it's a very heartbreaking thing. When I watched this and I heard testimonies from women, and it affects their childbirth. It affects a lot of things, it affects the hair production on their body. And, a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes, it's very heartbreaking. Like, I felt for them. And, Nigerian women from like different parts of the country living with this particular syndrome, PCOS for short, is what it's called. They're interviewed on their personal experiences with it. And some medical specialists, give their own opinions on the syndrome. So it was a really long night, heartbreaking for me. But I went through this all.
You could have just checked this thing out in the daytime. But it's fine.
To be fair, I was busy. I was busy, to be fair. But like, it felt like you just gave me light, like take light.
Take light.
See you next POV, guys.
All right. Bye.